Hello all. So today I'm doing a review of this FOXWELL AutoMaster Pro, which is also called the FOXWELL NT624 Elite. I'm going to go over everything about it. I'm going to show all the menu options. After this basic overview, I'm going to go over to my computer and show you what's going on with all its features and specifications and things like that. And then I'm going to take it out to a car and I'm going to show you how well it works inside of a vehicle and things along these lines. So this is going to be kind of a long review. You can skip around to what parts you'd want to know or that you need to know about this scan tool, because I'm going to try to do a detailed review of everything going on with it. And so this is basically the unit right here. It's not a touchscreen or anything like that. It's got big buttons though. They're real easy to use. There's no issues with that. There is more expensive units than this that have touchscreens, so if that is important, be sure to look for that. But this particular one does not have a touchscreen. That's not really an issue with me. Those touchscreen units usually just cost more, and we'll often have a lot of the same features and things like this. Like I said, if that is an issue, be sure to look at another unit because this is not a touchscreen, but it does have big buttons, which are pretty easy to use. And other things that are going to come with the unit is also going to be a cable to hook it up to the OBD2 port. It's also going to come with the case for holding it all inside of there. It's a pretty hard little solid case. It's also going to come with a quick start guide, a user guide, and you have some USB connections, things like this, so you can hook it up to a computer and you can update it and things along these lines. So this is basically the unit right here. It's built of a real hard case. It could definitely take a small drop. I wouldn't go dropping it really greatly or nothing, but it's all right. It's okay built. It's like I think, what do they call this, like ABS plastic or something? A lot of these tools have that now. So this is not rubber or anything. This is like really hard plastic. The buttons feel really good. The unit works really well. I've used it a few times already, and it works really well. The buttons are clearly labeled and simple to use. And on the top, you're going to have a connection. This is where this hooks up right here so that you could plug into an OBD2 port. On this side, there's nothing. On the bottom down here, you're going to have that USB port and an SD card slot, which I believe is used for updating, but you might be able to also add memory storage along those lines. I'll look later at all the specs for that. And over here, there's nothing. And so that's basically it. That's basically the unit, a real basic overview of the unit. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to jump over on the computer. I'm going to go over all the specifications, the features of the unit, and what it can do and what it can't do. I'll glance at a few reviews to give you an idea what they're saying and things along these lines. And then after that, I'll take it out to a vehicle and we'll go over the menu options and what they look like. So right now, I'm going to jump over on the computer and I'll be right back. So I'm back and I'm on my computer, and this is the unit listed on Amazon. Currently, it seems to be priced right around $270. Of course, that can change. So that's just the price on this day that I'm recording this. And some of the features it has is it has ABS, SAS, TPS, oil, EPB, along with, of course, all the basic OBD2 protocols. So all the basic codes that you would get with any scan tool. And the thing is with these scan tools is that if you just need to scan basic engine codes, like O2 sensor codes or MAF sensor codes, or things along these lines, any basic scanner is going to be able to do that. You can go get like a $40, $50 scanner, and they'll scan all those basic codes. The reason you would spend more money is that you want more features. So for example, this ABS bleeding, that's a very big feature. Most new cars, you have this step where you need to go through to bleed out the ABS control module. If you had to change it out, most new cars have an ABS module, and if it gets changed out for some reason, or if it loses its bleed, then you need one of these tools along with the steps that you have to go through in order to bleed that module. So having an ABS bleeding scan tool can be very handy if you do have to do that. If you don't have to do something along those lines and you just want to scan regular engine codes and very likely basic transmission codes, then you're better off with just one of those $30, $40, $50 scan tools. Because like I said, any of those low-cost scan tools, they can scan all those basic codes. So I'm going to go and scroll down here and see what else they got on this. And I'm going to put all the links down below for the scan tool. So if you need to check it out, you want to check out anything that I'm reading here or anything like that, just check the description box below and I'm going to put a link down there. And so this scan tool is called the NT224. They say it has a lifetime update, so you can get the newest version, new functions and vehicle coverage anytime. It will even help fix bugs and via update. So that's nice to have. It is good to have an update, especially sometimes you go to scan a vehicle and for some reason that scan tool won't have the more advanced features in the memory or coded to that scan tool. So for example, say you're working on like a Toyota and you're not having no issues, but then you go to work on like a Dodge and you plug it in, you're not able to use those same features. Quite often what you have to do is you have to go to their website, you download their software, you plug the scan tool into a computer, and you use their software to update the scan tool so you can go back out and use all those features on the Dodge. That's happened to me before on other scan tools. So having the ability to update the unit is very handy. So the main thing it's going to have is going to be able to read and clear codes, which any scan tool should be able to do. It's going to view live graph data, which can be very handy. A lot of scan tools can do that now, but many still can't. Retrieves freeze frame. That's a very good feature. Freeze frame is basically go back and look at the data when a code got triggered, and that can help point you to what the problem is. So freeze frame can be a good thing. It has EPP, SAS, which is steering wheel angle sensor, ESP, suspension, headlamp, car radio, center lock. It also has ABS, SRS, engine, transmission modules. That one could be really good. I have been in situations where I needed to recalibrate that steering wheel angle sensor. So having an ability to be able to do that is very nice, and read the codes with that steering wheel angle sensor. A lot of scan tools can't do that. Also like SRS, which is like airbag. That's another handy one that a lot of scan tools don't have. And along with the transmission modules, a lot of scan tools can read the basic codes, like a P0700 transmission error or something like that. But more advanced codes and troubleshooting inside the transmission and with the transmission module, most won't be able to read the more advanced codes. So that is very handy. And what else we got down here? Pro level 8 popular mechanic services. It looks like it has reset, relearn. That's interesting. I wonder if that could like relearn cam sensors or things like that. I don't know if that's built into that one, but if that is, that's a really handy thing to do, because when you go to swap out like a crank or a camshaft position sensor, well, some vehicles you have to like relearn it so that the computer can know the variances inside the cam sensor or the crank sensor before the engine runs right. So if it does have that, I don't know what this one does, but it says right there, relearn. Of course, it's not saying cam or crank relearn, but that would be very handy if it does. Calibrate or match related parts. It says ABS bleeding, SAS, throttle match, EPB, oil reset. A lot of these scan tools, when they say oil reset, basically it'll just pull up the steps that you need to do to reset that oil light. Like it'll say turn key to the on position, push the trip mileage button until you see trip A, turn the key off, turn the key back on, and that'll clear the engine oil light. And while that can be handy because you got the information right there, you can also look that up online. So that's not huge. Injector coding, that's a good one. BMS, so it's a cost-efficient scanner for DIY. Lifetime updates, that's very good. Multiple displays of live data. Live data is very handy when you need to like troubleshoot codes and things like this. It could be very nice to have when it can graph out what it's doing instead of just looking at numbers. It helps you visually understand what's going on better. And so I'm going to keep scrolling here. VIN scan, car. Works with the OBD2 most after 1996 vehicles, 2021, 2022 model, including the latest 2021, 2022 models. Okay, I'm going to keep scanning down here. FOXWELL NT624 Elite. And they got a lot of cells thing here. Powerful all-system diagnostics, extend the life of your car, and perform better. TPS, ABS, EPBs, SAS, steering, SRS, transmission, BMS, ESP, engine, and headlight. 8 hot special functions, battery registration, injector encoding, DPF regeneration, SAS calibration, ABS bleeding, throttle reset, oil reset, EPB reset. Well, that's some nice things to have when you need them. If you wanted to read any of this more, just pause the screen. I'm just going to keep scrolling down here. And so I'm going to go down here. I'm going to check out some of these reviews. And what do we have here? We got 5 stars, excellent FOXWELL product. FOXWELL has been a great product. Connection to a vehicle is a little slow, but it's very accurate. VIN recognition. All right, we'll keep scrolling down. I own several OBD2 scanners. I work with power sports industry. If you're a technician, just do it yourself person. Inexpensive scanner with low resolution screen. Well, this guy really did a long review here. the latest updates I installed, then I was able to plug the FOXWELL NT624 into the OBD2 diagnostic port on my truck car, started testing all functions. I didn't read the manual first, but I was able to navigate. Well, that guy looks good. That one's nice. Let's see what else I got here. Anybody broke? Anybody who actually fixed any problems? Limited bidirectional reset abilities. The EPB did work for me. Need a Windows PC to update the scanner. That is the thing with a lot of these scan tools, is that you do need a Windows computer or PC to download their software and to be able to connect to it and update and everything. So if that is a problem, you might want to look into that more. All right, I'm going to go look at some of the negative reviews here. Let me go down to some of the 1-star. And what do we got here? I have fixed the scanner, constantly lost communication with my phone about a FOXWELL NT624 Elite. Figuring it would always connect by wire, and its extra features, a quick start instruction tell you to do an update and show a simple USB connection. They don't tell you is you need to download an update from their website. I've seen several people's reviews that have the same confusion. By the way, they have 2 websites. So after registering one and failing to verify my registration, I got a blank page. Looks like this guy's having a problem updating his software. So I did all these things. I even updated that scan tool. I didn't have no issues to it. I went to their website. I downloaded their software. I plugged it in, and I did a basic update on it. So I'm not sure why they're having that problem like that. After giving up the scan tool, I used live data. It was very clunky to navigate. Data was easy view compared to my fixed D iPhone app. The graphing could only show 2 graphs at a time. Fixed D can show 4. The graphs were poor resolution, slow response rates compared to fixed D. I've never used that fixed D before, but I've seen like things on it. It's like a Bluetooth dongle that you plug in and you pair with your smartphone, and you can do all these different things with it. Those things can work okay, but I'm not really aware with this fixed D one. All right, so that guy didn't like it. Unit fails to perform maintenance functions as advertised. I had high hopes for this unit, but they failed me twice on 2 different vehicles, and the return window is 30 days, which makes it pretty much a waste of $200 and my time. The first vehicle was a 2005 Chevy Silverado. Performing the ABS pump bleed is kind of worked, but not as it should have. The pump would cycle some, and then it wouldn't. It was not consistent. The second vehicle was a 2019 Subaru Forester. It had the simple task, release the electronic parking brake to allow for a parking job on the rear brakes. Failure to communicate with the vehicle for this function makes the tool worthless in this situation. The tool did seem to scan well enough, though. That was the primary purpose, but that was not the primary purpose for it. Support is a joke. No one to talk to. All right, so that guy really didn't like it. It does sound like that he might have needed to update it before you worked on those specific vehicles, maybe. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not sure what's going on. But obviously that guy didn't like it. So that's some of the negative reviews. Overall, currently it has a 4.2 out of 5 right now, so that's not 5 out of 5. There are some people who don't like it, but it looks like the majority of people do. But that's a basic overview of its features and what's going on with it and what some of the reviews are saying. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take it. I'm going to take it out to a vehicle. I'm going to plug it in, show you a basic overview of what's going on with the way the menu systems work and different things like this. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'll be back. Okay, so I'm back, and I'm inside this 2012 Toyota Corolla. I'm going to go and plug it in. Okay, it's going to boot it right up, and what we have here, we got history, auto VIN, OBD2, diagnostics, maintenance, settings, data manager, and update. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and go over here to OBD2, which like I told you before, most any scan tool will have OBD2, or at least basic OBD2 protocols that it can read. Okay, so this is a Toyota. Press F1. Okay, so I got DDC, IM readiness, live data, onboard monitor, component test, vehicle information, vehicle status. Let me go and go into DDCC here. No fault found. F3. Okay, we can go down. I guess we could check out IM readiness. That's when it checks it for emissions. Sent store DDCs cleared. Try to get a better view of this. The driving cycle, yes, just since DDC cleared, I guess. Everything looks like it's okay. It should be okay on this vehicle. Let me scroll down. Yeah, everything looks okay there. Basically, that just tells you whether or not you could go pass an emissions test. And if anything's failed inside of there. Okay, got live data. Let's go down to live data. We'll take a look, see here. And see if we can do a custom list. It's gonna do like, I don't know, engine coolant temperature sensor. Guess we'll go ahead and do that one. F3, okay. We got press F3. And then you got graph F2. Alright, well that's really cool. Vehicle's not running right now, so that graph's just going to be flat. But if you start the vehicle as it warms up, that would go up. That's basically what that is. Like I said before, the graphing features can be very handy on these. I'll go ahead and read through the other live data things that you can check out on here. The engine coolant temperature sensor, short term, long term, engine RPM, vehicle speed sensor. I'm just going to go and scroll through. You could speed up or pause or whatever you need to do to see what it's got here. Catalyst temperature, bank 1, sensor 1, bank 1, sensor 2. That's pretty good. Control module voltage. And that looks like about it. I'm going to go back out. Onboard monitor. Let's go down to that. Exhaust gas sensor monitor, bank 1. You got catalyst monitor. You got variable valve timing monitor, purge flow. It's for the evap system. Exhaust gas heater monitor, bank 1. Fuel system monitor, misfire cylinder 1, 2, 3, 4. And so, well, that's interesting. And then you got component test. Go ahead and go down to component test, evaporative system leak test, inducement system reinitialization. Well, I know this system's good, so there's no use in doing a leak test, but that can be handy. Those evap system leaks can be kind of hard to find, though. Vehicle information, vehicle status. Alright, so that's the diagnostic menu. Are you sure you want to exit? Yes. Alright, so next we can go over to like diagnostics, which might be a lot of the same stuff. I guess I could go through and show you what vehicles are in here. I'll show America first. So you got Chrysler, Dodge, Ford, GM, Jeep, Tesla. And then over here in the Asian cars, you can have all these. Again, I'm just going to scroll down. You can pause and take a look if you need to look more closely. You got China. And we got Europe. So these are all the manufacturers that they got built into the scan tool. All the way down to Volkswagen. Alright, so I'm going to go back out. I'm going to go to Asia over here where it's listed. Scroll down to Toyota. Smart van. Yeah, let's just do that. See if it can't recognize what's going on. Europe, North America, North America. Without smart key. Yep, that's it. Press F1. It is taking a little while to load this data here. Still waiting. Usually I would fast forward through that, but I don't know if I should, just to show you what it really does in real time. Quick scan, diagnosis. I guess we could do a diagnosis. Powertrain, chassis, body. Let's do powertrain, engine and ECT. Yes. ECU controls, fuel injection, engine timing, control diag, diagnostic function, and backup function. Alright, F3. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to fast forward through this, since that way somebody can get a real idea on how long it's really going to take them, because this does take a little while to load some things. I wouldn't say humongously long, but I don't know, what is this, like at least 45 seconds? A minute maybe? Of course, I did read the other codes quickly. This one's a little bit more involved with these diagnostics and everything. Well, this one really is taking a little while though. Alright, read codes, live data. Let's go ahead and read codes. There shouldn't be no codes on this vehicle right now. Startability malfunction. I guess there is a P1604 code. Yeah, I'm going to have to take more of a look at that one. Startability malfunction. Alright, so that's basically what's going on there. You also got chassis and body. I'm going to go back out to the main menu here. And then if we go down, we're going to have update. Which again for these, when you go to update, you're going to have to hook it up to a PC, to a computer with that USB cable and things like that. So you have to read the instructions on that, but it has update. You got data manager. Let me go in here for a minute. No content. And we're going to have settings. But you have language, units, shortcuts, beep sets, display tests, keypad test, and about. And we're going to have maintenance. And here's the ABS service, EPB, oil reset, SAS, and TPS. So this ABS service, let me try to go in here. And then you're going to have to select the vehicle and everything. I don't have any codes. I don't have any ABS codes on this Toyota, and I don't need to bleed it or anything like that. But if I do come across a vehicle that I need to do that for, I'll come back and I'll try to redo that with this tool. But that's where that would be, ABS service. This would be for the parking brake. This doesn't have an electronic parking brake, this 2012 Toyota Corolla, so this would be for newer cars and cars and vehicles that do have that. So I'm not going to be able to show that function either, but that can be handy to have. This oil reset very likely is just going to tell me the steps that I have to do in order to reset the oil light, which is basically like turn the key to on position, things like that. I'll go ahead and go down here and take a look real fast. And see, that's what it does. It gives you the steps that you have to do in order to get that maintenance light to turn off, which is basically start the engine, use the trip meter and go to trip A and things like along those lines. So it's not going to do it automatically, but it does give you the steps that you need to do it. Although some newer vehicles, maybe it will be okay, maybe it would be able to manually do that, but not on a lot of these that I've seen, it doesn't do that. It just gives you the steps. But that's the oil reset. Let me go over here to SAS, steering wheel angle sensor. This can be fairly handy, the steering wheel angle sensor. If you have a steering wheel angle sensor, if you get a code for the steering wheel angle sensor and it needs to be calibrated or something like that, then that could be very handy to have that. And the TPS sensors, which is basically the sensors in all the tires all the way around the vehicle. And I know there won't be no issues with that either, but basically you could go in there and you can do troubleshooting and things like that. Well, I need to plug that in better there. That came unplugged on me. But that's basically it. That's a basic overview of what's going on with this scan tool. If I missed something, then please comment down below and I'll try to come back and go over anything that I missed or anything that I should cover or something along those lines. But I basically just wanted to give you a basic overview of what's going on with this scan tool. Here's some of the specifications and the features and things like that. So that's basically it.